Have you ever just looked at something simple, like the chair you're on or a mug on your desk, and wondered about the whole hidden world behind it? All the decisions, the resources, the people, it's a lot. Well, today, that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to unpack that world by following the journey of one product to really understand what business is all about. Okay, let's get into it.
So let's kick things off with a pretty big question. Just imagine, for a second, a world with zero business activity. No stores, no factories, no services. What does that even look like? Well, you'd have to do absolutely everything for yourself. Grow your own food, build your own house, make your own clothes. It would be a life of just pure, day-to-day survival. And this slide just lays it out so clearly. On one side, you've got that self-sufficient world, where life is all about basic survival. And honestly, living standards are pretty low. But on the other side, you've got our world, a specialized one. This is where people get really good at one thing. A baker bakes, a doctor heals, an engineer builds. And then we trade with each other. That trade right there is the heart of all business. And it's why we have this incredible range of stuff all around us.
Okay, so how does a business even get off the ground? What does it actually need to create all those goods and services? Well, it turns out it doesn't matter if you're making a high-tech smartphone or just a simple sandwich, you need the same 4 essential ingredients to start.
In economics, these are called the 4 factors of production, and they are land, labor, capital, and enterprise. Seriously, just think of these 4 things as the fundamental building blocks for pretty much everything that gets made or sold. Now, what's so cool about this is how simple yet powerful these ideas are. So land isn't just a field. It's all the natural resources, the water, the oil, the forests, you name it. Labor, well, that's the human effort, the skills people bring to the table. Capital is the money for sure, but it's also the tools, the machines, the buildings. And then there's enterprise. This is that special spark. It's the entrepreneur, the risk taker, who has the vision to pull the other 3 together to create something totally new.
But, and this is a huge but, here's the catch, none of these things are infinite. There's only so much land, only so many skilled workers, only so much money and equipment. This basic problem has a name, scarcity. And because of scarcity, every single business and really every single one of us has to make tough choices about how to use these limited resources.
So to really see how this all works in the real world, let's follow the journey of one simple product, a wooden table. We're going to trace it all the way from a tree standing in a forest to a piece of furniture sitting in a store. It's the perfect way to see these big ideas in action.
All right, the journey kicks off right here in what's called the primary sector. This is all about taking raw materials straight from the earth. Think farming, mining, fishing, and yep, in our case, forestry. The woodcutter harvesting the tree is literally harvesting the land factor of production. This is the very first, most basic step in the whole chain.
Okay, next up, that raw wood gets taken to a workshop. And now we're in the secondary sector. This is the manufacturing hub of the economy, where raw materials get turned into finished goods. Our furniture maker uses their labor, their skills, and their capital, their tools and workshop, to transform those rough logs into a table you'd actually recognize.
Finally, our beautiful new table needs to find a home, and that happens in the tertiary sector, which you can also just think of as the service sector. This part of the economy doesn't make a physical thing, it provides services. That means everything from banking and transportation to, in our case, the retail store. The store provides that crucial service of putting the table where you can see it, touch it, and hopefully buy it.
So we've seen these 3 sectors, but what's the real goal of this whole process? I mean, it's not just about moving stuff around. The real secret to how businesses actually make money and grow is a powerful little concept called adding value.
To put it simply, added value is the wealth a business creates. It's the increase in worth that happens from one stage of production to the next. So the furniture maker adds value by turning a pile of wood into a table, and the retailer adds value by making that table easy and convenient for you to buy.
And when you break it down, it's actually just some simple math. You take the price something sells for, subtract what it costs to buy all the materials, and whatever's left over, that's the value the business has added. And you can bet that if that number isn't positive, the business won't be around for very long.
Let's scale this up with a bigger example. Imagine a construction company builds a house. The materials, all the bricks, cement, wood, cost them $35,000. They sell the finished house for $200,000. That means the added value is a whopping $165,000. That value is what pays for everyone's work, covers the cost of the machinery, and hopefully leaves a profit at the end.
And businesses get really creative with this stuff. I mean, think about Starbucks. The actual cost of the coffee beans and milk in your cup is tiny, right? But they add a ton of value in other ways. They build this huge brand image. They let you customize your drink exactly how you want it. They create a whole experience with comfy chairs and Wi-Fi. And they focus on good service. You're not just buying coffee, you're buying the whole Starbucks experience.
Okay, so let's zoom out a bit and look at the bigger picture. Every single step in this journey we followed, from the forest to the final sale, it all involves choices. And these choices, they have hidden costs, and they bring up some really big questions about who's actually running the show.
So, let's put you back in the store. You see our wooden table, you love it, and you decide to buy it. You hand over the money, of course. But what was the real cost of that choice? What did you have to give up to say yes to that table?
This gets at a really key idea in economics called opportunity cost. It's simply the value of the next best thing you didn't choose. Because our resources, like our money and our time, are scarce, every decision to do one thing is also a decision not to do something else. Every yes comes with a no.
And this applies to absolutely everyone, from individuals to entire governments. If you choose to spend your savings on an amazing holiday, well, that's great, but the opportunity cost might be the new car you can't buy. If a government decides to build a new highway, its opportunity cost might be the new school it can no longer afford to build. Every single choice involves a trade-off.
And all this talk about choices leads us to our final big question for today. Who actually owned all those businesses we saw? The logging company, the furniture workshop, the retail store? Were they owned by private individuals trying to make a profit, or were they owned by the government? The answer to that question really defines the whole economy.
So most economies are split into these two big areas. First, you have the private sector. This is made up of all the businesses owned by regular people and companies, and usually their main goal is to make a profit. Then you have the public sector. This is everything that's owned and run by the government or the state.
The private sector really runs on the fuel of profit and competition. Now, this can be a huge advantage. It pushes companies to be super efficient and innovate like crazy to win your business, which often means lower prices for all of us. But there's a flip side. Sometimes a company can get so big it becomes a monopoly and can charge whatever it wants. And some really important services, say a small post office in a remote village, might get shut down just because they don't make enough money.
And that's where the public sector is designed to step in. It can provide those essential services like national defense or healthcare to everybody. And its decisions can be made to benefit the whole community, not just a few shareholders. But what's the potential challenge here? Well, without that pressure from competition, services can sometimes become less efficient, and the huge costs to run them are ultimately paid for by all of us through our taxes. So, there you have it. From a simple tree to a finished table on a shop floor, we've watched a whole economic story play out. It's a story about scarce resources that force us to make choices, about different sectors working together to add value, and about the big questions of who should own and control it all. So go on, look around you right now. Pick the object that's nearest to you and ask yourself, what's its story?